Welcome to the Cross the Line Podcast. My name is Carlos Smith, and today we have another special guest with us here in East Los Angeles, California. We have the CEO of WYE, host, writer, producer, and comedian, Bilal Young. Bilal, what's going on?
Man, what's happening? Appreciate you having me, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
So I'm just telling everybody like a backstory. We met last year. It was last summer. I remember it was like right around BT weekend at Chocolate Sundays at the Laugh Factory. And we met out there. It was Tony Rock having like a special, for his, I think it was his birthday or whatever. And I remember you were just up there. I guess you was just pretty much watching the show as well. And I was just, me and you had a conversation, and I just followed each other on Instagram and stayed connected. I said, bro, when I come back out this way, let's wake up.
You like, when I touch back down in LA, we gotta do something. So I'm like, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and it took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but man,
timing is everything.
Yeah, but I kept on telling bro, when I get out there, we definitely gonna link up. I made sure I definitely was gonna keep my word, man. So now we out here. I appreciate you taking the time for real, man.
Yeah, no problem, man.
So how has life been treating you out here in LA though? Like, how you like it?
Life is lifing in LA. That's just not just in LA, but just all over. But since I'm here in LA, you still just putting the chops in, putting your reps in as far as what I do. Things are slowly but surely starting to move, but
it's a process.
Yeah, it's definitely a process. It's a long one, but for the most part, it's been steady. It's been cool. You got to be able to withstand all the losses that you endure on this journey that you're on. But everything's been cool.
You're in a unique field because we don't come across a lot of comedians all the time, especially on our platform. What we do, especially what we are, there's not a lot of comedians. So you're in a very unique space. But let's go back just a little bit. Can you tell everybody like where are you originally from?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. So how was like your childhood growing up in Cleveland?
Fun. Very active in the streets, or when I say streets, not not like in the streets, but like sports, skating, swimming, just the typical things that you do as a kid in the 90s, growing up in the 90s, early 2000s. But Cleveland is home, that's my home. That's everything that I am is because of Cleveland. And growing up in Cleveland was just how it was growing up for you. Well, that's all you knew at that moment, was your environment. So you just gotta make the most of it.
Were you a Browns fan growing up?
Oh yeah,
I would think so.
Oh, for sure.
See, y'all been terrible for some years.
Yeah,
too.
but we good. We won today, so we doing
y'all.
Good.
Y'all coming back around now.
Yeah, we 9-5 right now, so we Shout out to the Browns.
Hey, we from South Carolina, so
y'all rely on y'all sports teams out there, so But the women, they got a good basketball.
The girls basketball team lit. We're gonna win it all this year.
And then my high school coach, his brother. His son played for South Carolina right now.
Oh, for real?
Michi Johnson.
Okay. Basketball?
Yeah, basketball.
Oh, that's what's up.
The point guard at Michi Johnson.
Yeah, that's love right there.
Yeah.
Basketball, well, college sports is really about the best thing we have right now because the Panthers and the Hornets, we got it bad right now. I knew it was gonna be bad. But not like that. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad.
Now you see how the Browns felt all the years.
Yeah.
And this is one season that y'all like,
I mean, their new ownership came in, man, and it's just been terrible. Like, so I cover the Hornets, so I'm at the Hornets home games, covering them, and I pretty much expected they would be like right where they are because to me, they really brought back the same team from last year to this year.
Right.
And I knew it wasn't gonna be much of an improvement, but the Panthers. I feel sorry for Bryce.
Man, that's what happens when you get drafted number one. What you expect? You get drafted number one, you're gonna come with some growing pains.
Yeah, man, but I didn't think it would be. They gave up so much to get Bryce, which I understand. When you give up all those assets to get somebody, man, it's gonna be bad. But man, they the ownership just ruined that team. And then when you had a coach in position with Steve Wilkes when he took over last year and almost had us into the playoffs, they got a long.
He said, nah.
They got a long way to go. But you know what? I root the Panthers. That's home for us. That's our home team. So I'm always root for them. But my favorite team is Baltimore Ravens.
Oh.
So how I started loving the Ravens was when I was a kid. I had a PlayStation, and I always played with the Ravens because I like their defense. If I could get at least 10 to 13 points, I was gonna win because we had a defense. The quarterbacks was terrible, but I would just run the ball with Jamal Lewis.
Oh,
but the defense we had was tough, so that's why that's my favorite team. And of course, I'm always root for the home team, the Panthers.
Right.
But they got a long way to go.
Yeah.
So growing up, you played sports in school?
Yeah.
When you were in school?
Mm-hmm.
Was that did you have dreams, aspirations of playing like collegiate ball and
I played college ball.
Oh, what would you play at?
I played at 2 schools. I went to the University of Rio Grande, and then I transferred to a school in Kentucky called Berea College.
You played basketball?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say was like your family's aspiration for you growing up? Did they have any type of career aspiration?
No. My family, my immediate family was just like a blue collar. You get your job and you move up in the company, and that's just. But at an early age, I realized that mediocrity was not it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So going to get a 9 to 5 that's easy.
Right.
I can go get a 9 to 5. I can move up in the company. I can become this, that, and the third. But it's like I want to do something that's. You gotta put some work into it. You gotta put some effort, and the type of lifestyle and the type of things that I'm into. You gotta work. It takes some time to get to where you want to be. But as far as my parents saying do this and do that, no, it was just figure whatever you want to do, figure it out.
So did you know at an early age that you just wanted to get out of Cleveland though?
Oh, for sure. Very early.
Was it like
7th grade?
Oh, so you already knew
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you say is the mindset of most people that live in Cleveland? Is it like you saying a traditional 9 to 5 workers, or did you see a lot of entrepreneurs trying to start their own business?
Oh, just blue collar,
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5, you want to become in Cleveland is either a nurse or, you're trying to do something in the medical field or a factory or, it's just your environment.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you see whatever you see your family do, 9 times out of 10 they're going to say, hey, put in the application, I can put in the word for you here and this, that, But I realized early that wasn't me. I can't do that. That's not something that we want to do. So.
How would you say you were in school? Would you say you were the class clown, or were you kind of the shy, humble kid?
Oh no, I was definitely the class clown, for sure. For sure, yeah, for sure. That's where most of my trouble came in, at just being insubordinate.
Mm-hmm.
Not more so fighting or anything like that. It was just more so I'm entertaining the whole class, including the teacher. So it was I was the funny guy. I was the popular dude.
Did you have any siblings?
Yeah, I got 4 sisters.
Oh man, so are you the youngest?
I'm in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Man, I'm the middle child too, man. I always feel like the middle child is kind of
the golden child.
Yeah.
They it's
different, man.
It's the way I look at it is with this middle child, they gonna get the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be bad, but then they gonna be good at the same time. This is the middle child is my child where they're gonna figure it out because being the middle child is when you have a middle child as a parent, there's gonna be some things that you're gonna do that you did with your previous kid, and then there's gonna be some things that you don't do because or if I do this, then there's a possibility that he or she gonna turn out like this because of X, Y, Z. So
I feel like we have somewhat of an advantage because we can watch our older siblings. I have an older brother and of course a younger sister, and so you kind of get to watch your older sibling, like I got a chance to watch my brother go play college ball, and then, learn from his mistakes and watch some of the things that he did. And I always tell people, my brother is my idol, and I always look up. He was one of the reasons that I wanted to play football. I played football and basketball. I wasn't great at football, but he was the reason that I wanted to play. And then anytime that he went somewhere, he would always take me under his wing. I remember I was like 15 years old, and we would go to the club, and he would just slide me his ID and just take me with him and his friends. But to get a chance as a middle child to watch and see what the older siblings do, and then also still be influenced to your younger sibling. But I mean, I always felt like I was kind of like somewhat of a renegade. Like I knew I wanted to be successful, be great at something, but I didn't always, follow like the status quo, like what everybody else, does in society. Because like you're saying, society paints that picture of success is like going to school, you go to college, graduate, like you saying, your parents will tell you, and then you get a job and you just stay there.
So you move up in the company, you get the benefits, you get the this, that, and the third. Hey, I did it. Life is life.
Exactly. And it sounds good.
It sounds good, but until you like, I don't know. I can't even explain it. It's just like it's just a feeling that I just knew like. No, this is not it.
Exactly. For me, it took me until I actually got into the workforce to finally figure out like this is not what I want to do.
Right.
And I had to start paying student loans. That was like I was working 2 jobs, just getting up, going to work, and I had my first 2 kids were born while I was in college, and I was just working, paying bills, and it was just like. I got to get up and do this again in the morning, and I just worked 13 hours, and I was gonna get about 5 hours of sleep and get back up and do it again. And I was like, man, I can't live like this. I gotta figure something out, man. So I tell people like working 2 jobs was one of the best things and the worst things that happened to me, because it just forced me to like figure out early, like, man, I can't live like this.
Right.
But it's a lot of people, even though they don't like doing it, they still,
still get to it.
Yep, they still do it, man. So for you, how long did you work have you ever worked a 9 to 5? Like, what kind of jobs have you worked?
Odd jobs, just like nothing serious, like pet store or Arby's and fast food, and I was in the service industry. That's where I got majority of my work experiences. Like, being a server, I became a corporate trainer. Like, just being with a company so long, to become a corporate trainer, then become a manager, supervisor. And then before you know, I'm closing the restaurant. But it's like, after a while, it's just like, man, like this is it. Like, if this is my life, I don't want to tell it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't want this.
Bro,
Like,
I started out early, man. I can tell you, the first job I really had was at Buffalo Seafood my 10th grade year in high school. So I was just busting tables. Taking out the trash. They would even have me cutting chicken, making little chicken tenders and stuff. And I thought it was, at the time, I was like, man, this is cool right here. Now I'm making my own money. And I remember the first time I worked that job, I got my very first phone. Do you remember it was like the little flip phone they used to call the egg? It was like black on the top. It was like a Nokia or something. It was like a little prepaid phone.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Put little minutes on it. That was like the very first phone I had. And then when I got to college, some of the odd jobs, man, I worked at Costco for like 10 years while I was in college, but I just left there a few months ago. But I worked at Sam's, I worked at Toys R Us, I worked at Pizza Hut for 30 days, and they let me go. And I was glad, because I ain't like that at all. But bro, I just worked so many But I knew this can't be it.
This is not life.
This cannot be it at all. So when did you actually get exposed to comedy? Well, do you remember like the first time you seen that?
I want to say like 5th or 6th grade. Mad TV. Okay.
For me, I would say the first time that I ever.
Was Mad TV now, man? Yeah, like 5th or 6th grade. Yeah, but Mad TV is what I really was like starting to pay attention. Like, oh, what's this? like and then it turned into Eddie.
Turned into who?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I used to live with my aunt, and she had these Eddie Murphy cassette tapes, and I don't know if it was God, I don't know, but she was like, don't be over there listening to them Eddie Murphy tapes. Like that's what she said.
Yeah.
I was like, of all the tapes, like, why would I want to listen to that tape? Like, but I didn't know who Eddie Murphy was at that. I'm like, Eddie Murphy, and then I listened to it one time, and I'm like, oh, this is like, oh, so what is he doing? So I was intrigued on how he was making somebody laugh, and he's not there. That's how I was thinking. Like, how's he making them people laughing on the radio if he's just like on the? But I didn't realize that he's in front of people. They just recorded it. Like this how early I picked it up. But from Mad TV and Eddie Murphy is when I really started like, oh, this is what because I wanted to get into acting, but I didn't know that comedy. I thought comedy was acting. So the whole time I'm saying I'm gonna be an actor, not knowing that it's being like a comedian.
Right, I got you.
So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be an actor, not knowing, oh, this is actually comedy. So yeah, around like fifth or sixth grade.
The first time that I can really remember, being I'll put it this way. I remember growing up, I would see, watching Jamie Foxx show, watching Martin, watch Fresh Prince, Steve Harvey show, the Hugleys. My parents were watching Living Color. I remember watching those shows, but the first time that I really, saw stand-up comedy, and it was with the original Kings of Comedy, with Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer. So I remember seeing the sitcoms, but like to hear them doing the stand-up and just using profanity. That's when the first time that I remember seeing like stand-up, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. I remember my parents were watching that. They would make us go sit like in the back room because they didn't want to. I mean, we could still hear from down the hallway.
Yeah, but they just want to be parents.
Exactly.
You can't watch this, but you can listen.
Exactly. But that was the first time that I really remember, actually seeing like comedians using profanity and just using cuss words and just seeing it in a different light. Like, man, this is crazy. But then now when I go back and watch it's crazy. But if I watch Kings of Comedy now, like some of the jokes that they say now it hits home more now because I'm actually in the real world and
you get what they're saying.
You really understand what they're saying.
I think Kings of Comedy was it for everybody.
Bro, it was
like rock stars.
Yeah, for real. Cause and what I love was like if you watch it, they kind of take you behind the scenes and you can see them on the road traveling in the dressing room, smoking cigarettes and playing cards and everything like that. So just to see that up close, and then you could see them like the fans, like they would interview some of the fans and how the people would dress up to come out and see them. Bro, like that was crazy to see something like that. And now and this was at a time when social media was
not even around. So imagine if social media was around back then.
Oh, they would have been. And it was still, and I mean they were
still mega stars.
Exactly. Yeah. So to see what they became, man, that was special to see something like that. So when did you figure out, okay, you working those odd jobs, you went to college, you played ball. So I would imagine it's safe to say at first you wanted to go to the NBA, it's like one of your dreams.
Yeah.
So then when you realized that might not be a possibility, like when did you kind of begin to like really shift towards comedy?
Well, when I was in college, I had put together this talent show, and it was called Rio Got Talent. And the different students in the school, they come up with their talent, and so what I did was I host that talent show. But I took it serious. Like I had outfit change, I was the only, but what's crazy is I had outfit change. I'm the only one in this little mirror, like in the back room with the mirror, like giving myself a pep talk, like, you got this, like, you gotta go out here and make them laugh, and not realizing not realizing that I'm just feeding this bug that bit me, like, So after that show, my assistant coach. He came up to me and he was like, "Yo, if basketball don't work out for you, man, you can be a comedian, man. You really like you can do it, like." And it was at that moment when it was like, all right, if basketball, because my whole life I've been prepping to be a comedian, not knowing, like, being a class clown, saying this type of joke, saying that type of joke, mimicking people, like, that's all comedy. So after that talent show, I realized, I said, yeah, if basketball don't work, this is gonna be it right here. I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna do comedy.
Ron G said the same thing yesterday when he was, of course, he's from South Carolina just like us. He's from Columbia, and then he graduated, went to Atlanta, and he said he had a friend that told him, he said, man, you should do stand up because you funny as well. And same thing when you saying when your coach saw that in you. For you, why do you think people can see those type of things of like, it's like seeing this gift in you that you should pursue? What do you think that is to where they can see that gift?
People can't fathom you going on stage in front of like strangers and entertaining them. Mm-hmm. So when they see it, it's like, even if it's like basketball or if it's drawing or if it's like, yo man, you really got a talent in this, like yo, like, cause in our community, in the black community, we don't see somebody that would be in the hood that actually know how to play lacrosse.
Right.
And would be like, hey man, you need to go to a school that got lacrosse. Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. When you hear somebody that's like from a black community
that look like you,
would like pull you to the side and like, no, look, if basketball don't work out for you, man, comedy is that's your calling. That's you. That's God speaking to you.
Exactly.
It's God telling you, like,
your coach could have told anybody the same thing, but he told you that.
Because he came to you like, look, man, if basketball don't work out, comedy, entertaining, that's what he said, entertaining people, that's you. That I'm telling you have that. That's gonna be you. And on my way walking back to the dorm, I told myself, I was like, oh, this is why I'm gonna stay full throttle with basketball, but I'm gonna keep doing my research on comedy. I'm gonna keep doing like studying it. If anybody that you ask about Bilal, they're gonna be like, man, that dude is a student of comedy. Like he is a student. Like that dude is a student. So at this time you were still in Cleveland? No, I was at school.
You was at school?
I was in school.
Okay.
And I was in Ohio, but I was in school.
Okay, so right after that, did you go back home after college?
I transferred to Berea.
Berea? Okay, and that's still in Ohio?
That's in Kentucky.
In Kentucky?
Yeah.
Okay. So you never really fully went back home at any point in time?
No.
So you just knew,
Once I left Ohio, I was like, I'm not. There's a reason why there's a rearview mirror in your car. You know what I mean? When you're driving, that stuff is behind you. Like home will always be home. I got Cleveland tatted on me. Like but it's it's back there for a reason. Like you gotta, in order for you to make a name for yourself, make a name for your city, make a name for who you are. And like when you wake up every morning in the mirror and look at that person in the mirror every morning, you're doing it for that person. Like you know what I'm saying?
Why do you feel like a lot of young people now, or just people in general, feel like in order to, pursue their dreams, it's like they have to get away from home? Because we hear this a lot. Honestly, a lot of the entrepreneurs that we sat with, wherever they built their business, they're not from that area. They've always uprooted and relocated and went somewhere else. Why do you think that's like a lot of the cause for many people, entrepreneurs or whoever chasing their dreams? Is like they may be from one place, but they leave home and go somewhere else.
So like if I was from Atlanta and I was an actor, I wouldn't move. Because that's Black Hollywood.
Black Hollywood, yeah.
But I'm a comedian, I'm an actor, and I'm from Cleveland. Yeah,
Cleveland's not like one of those.
It's not a city where you can, it's not a New York, it's not a LA. Like, when you come out here in LA, the possibilities are endless.
Right.
Like, you can today is Sunday. I could go. There's so many things I could do today. Like you know, that's gonna put me in the position to be around somebody that's might give me an opportunity.
Right.
You know, like can I get that in Cleveland? Possibly, but the greater the chances of that happening are like very slim.
Not like it is out here.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So when you started going all in on comedy, you were in Kentucky at that time?
I was in Kentucky, and I took a Greyhound from Kentucky to San Diego. And so that bus ride from Kentucky to San Diego, that's when I had to put all my ducks in a row. Right, like it took me like I want to say a day or two. So driving through different cities and going to different, picking people up from U-Haul places and you know odd places and stuff, meeting strange people and this that like you gotta put like when everybody else is asleep, I'm looking out the window like man like this is it, like it ain't no turning back now. I'm in the middle of freaking New Mexico. Like you know I'm in New Mexico. I can't say hey man I want to go back home. Like you know like at that point you gotta really like all right. This is it right here. This is where you like you put your big boy pants on, you pull them up, and you go after it.
So you knew it was like, all right, I'm in Kentucky. From Kentucky, I'm going to San Diego. Like, why was San Diego that next stop for you instead of coming directly here?
I had family in San Diego.
Okay, so they kind of like helped make the transition.
Yeah. I had family in San Diego. They said come out here and figure it out. Like come out here, figure it out, and slowly but surely I started figuring it out, and then I had a kid in Houston. But I didn't start comedy until I didn't start comedy until I got to Houston. So I went to San Diego and was in not in the scene, but like going to different shows, just studying. Remember, being a student, like studying, looking at why this person is performing, why this person is not performing, listening to jokes, listening to, all right, they putting this part here, and like, okay, I just seen this person perform again. They took their finisher and put it in the beginning. Now, they took the whole set and started from last to first now. So it was like, oh, okay. So once I went to Houston, is when I got a little boy.
Right.
So once my little boy was born, I went to Houston. Man.
Listen, we went last year for my cousin's bachelor party weekend.
I went for a bachelor party.
And I didn't know I didn't know what we was going to
Yes.
Man, listen.
Viewers, go to Houston.
Yes, indeed.
Go to Houston.
And I can't wait to get back out.
Man, go to Houston.
Man.
Houston is, man.
That was my first time. We went last year, back in September for the bachelor party.
Yeah. I just went in,
cause I remember when you was out there one time. I said, man, Houston lit.
You sure is.
Houston is lit.
Man, Houston is that's a beautiful, man. Whew.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
My son's mother is from Houston, so that lets you know.
Yeah.
How I feel about Houston. Like,
it's a lot of temptation out there, man. You gonna have a good time.
You're gonna have a great time.
You're gonna have
a great time in Houston.
Yeah. So San Diego, while you were in San Diego, did your family that you had out in San Diego, did they put like an expiration on, like a time, like, okay, you got this amount of time to figure it out, or they just like, just come out here and just
They were supporting me. They were like, so where you gonna do the stand up? Where you go? And I was nervous. I was like, because I didn't know how to start it. I didn't know how to start it, and I was just like, I just kept going off. Don't worry, like I'm gonna do it. And then they went to go see Tommy Davidson.
Okay.
At the American Comedy Company in San Diego, and then they came back and they were like disappointed, like.
Oh, for real?
They were like, oh, man, when are you gonna do comedy? Because you're way funnier. They're like, man, you way funnier than that dude tonight, man. When are you, like, come on, man, please start, like, do comedy. Like, you gotta, like, when you gonna start it? And then when I moved to Houston, I had my kid, and then I was like, all right, if I put the work in, don't stop being scared. Like, You done put the work in. You done put the like go do it. So 2017 is when I took my first step onto a comedy stage
in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So you started with like open mics, just like anybody else.
Trying to figure out like where to open, who's like, where do I go? What do I do? How do I, you know? And slowly but surely, I started making a name for myself in Houston, and then I want to say in like 2 years, like year 2 of doing that, I got a job offer to go to San Diego.
Oh, so to go back to San Diego. Word. That's what's
But
up.
the plan was to always go to LA because I got family out here that's in the industry. So back in 2012, I came out to visit, and they were showing me showing me everything. And then my cousin told me, he was like, on the plane ride home is when it's gonna hit you. And then I'm like, because I'm still playing college basketball. I'm like, the season's about to start. I'm prepping for the season. And he's like, no, like when you get on the plane, it's gonna hit you. And I kid you not, when I got on the plane and we was taking off from LAX, going into the air, a tear came down my cheek, and that's when I knew. I was like, oh, I gotta be here. Like this is it. Like this feeling right here is the feeling that like I love basketball, but I never had that like a moment to where I'm like, yo, like I have to be here, like you know. So I got the job offer to come back to San Diego, and once I came to San Diego, it was just like hit the ground, like go, and that was in 2018, 2019, and been out here ever since.
So when it was finally time to let basketball go, you were just fully at peace. Like, you were just completely at peace with it.
Yeah. Because that's when it became. I didn't realize it was like a business until I transferred, and then I realized that I got not played, but I like, you know, it's a business. Like I didn't know the business side of college basketball. So I had almost ruptured my Achilles, and so I was like, because I was stressed, and I'm just like, man, I left a great situation for a horrible situation. And it was just like one of those lesson learned, and then I'm like, I can't see myself in school if I'm not playing basketball.
Right.
And that's just God's honest truth.
Gotcha.
You know, I just can't see myself at school if I'm not playing a sport. Like that was me. Not saying that I'm not intelligent enough to go to school, get a degree, this, that, and third.
And it's nothing wrong with it, because I tell everybody, like I went to college, I have my degree, but having a degree doesn't determine whether you're going to be successful or not.
Right, exactly.
You can still be an entrepreneur. It's plenty of entrepreneurs that have built a great deal of wealth without going to college.
Right.
Just like I said, it's one of those things that society puts that belief on you that you have to go to college in order to be successful.
Exactly. So I was just like, I'm gotta be real with you. I checked out. I just completely checked out because I went from being the man to like, I was the man at the other school, but the other school was a liberal arts school. And if you know anything about a liberal arts school, like their academics are like serious. Like it's top, like this is what we care about our.
This is what you're really here for.
Yeah, you're here for your grades. Like you know, but
the
school that I came from was like, yo, the next couple years is the program is yours. But I wasn't trying to hear that. I wanted the program to be mine right then and there. But you know, that's being like a business. Like I'm a freshman coming in. Yeah, I'm coming off averaging 36 and 12 at a prep school. Yeah, that sounds good, but when you go to college, you start from right? You starting all the way up to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm getting they like freshmen and shut up, like, go back to Cleveland, you bum, and all this stuff. I'm just like, wait, hold on, you know who I just did? And they're like, but you know what he just did last year? Like, this is the freshman of the year in the country, like in our division, like the hardest conference in our. I play NAIA D1. Okay. So that's like a JUCO to NCAA D1. Like, so all the people that's old but still got eligibility, I'm playing against them boys. Like the 23-year-olds and the 25-year-olds that still got eligibility, like grown men. Like, you know. But I'm coming in like, man, I'm the man, and I got the assistant coach like, bro, you can be the man in like 2 years.
They want you to sit and wait your turn.
Yeah, wait, bro, we just need you to defend right now and grab rip, because that's all we need you to do right now. But you're gonna have 3 years where the ball is gonna be in your hand. But I'm not trying to hear, I'm not trying to hear.
That's how a lot of sports is now too. It's like guys with this transfer portal.
Oh man.
No, they ain't winning at all now. Either they gonna see some playing time right now, or they
gone.
Yeah,
they gone.
Yeah,
they gone.
But I mean, I get it. It's changing the landscape of college ball now. It's definitely and the money involved in it now. It's times different from when we were.
They knew not to give us that money.
Man, what? Even though I didn't even play college ball, but just to see like
you give me any man. Listen,
and they riding clean at school now too. Like it ain't no more struggle for them. Like the elite players. Oh, they
$5 million NIL deal. Like you like what?
Balling. But I ain't mad at it. But and it's gonna show you like who really wants it and who just content with making that money and if they just gonna up their game. Because I mean, some of the people they gonna rise to the occasion and go to the next level. Some kids might just say, "I'm good. I made my money. I can take care of my family now." And might not go to that next level.
That's why I like comedy, because it's like there is no NIL deal in comedy where they say, "Hey, we like you and we're gonna pay you X amount of money," because guess what? More people will be content. As a comedian, you gotta go through the struggle. You gotta there's no money in this stuff right now. You gotta work your way to get to the money. Like to see that side of the bridge, you gotta put the work in. You have to put the work in. And if you don't get paid, then that's on you, because this is an individual sport. You gotta put the work. You gotta put. The only team that's in comedy is if you was a comedian and I'm a comedian. My team versus your team, and it's our team's job to see who's gonna put us above one another. That's the only team that's in this comedy thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. You got your friends and you help your boys out with this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, we want to be the best.
Yeah, you still going at each other.
This is a competition. This is friendly competition. My team versus your team.
When you got that first opportunity, that first deal in San Diego, just in that moment, did you feel like you had made it? At that time, like when you got that opportunity, like you said, when you went back from Houston to San Diego?
No, because I wasn't in comedy. It was just a job, it was just like a regular job. But in my head, I'm like, I'm in California now.
I got you. Okay, I thought you was like signing like a deal to do some stand up or something.
No.
Okay.
This was just an opportunity to get back to Cali. Like, this is my opportunity to get back to Cali. Like, this is one step closer to LA. So now I'm in San Diego. All right, boom. What? I already know what to do now. Where's the open mic at? Where's this at? Where's the? I'm talking about the first day I stepped into the comedy scene in San Diego. I was like, it's mine. That's how I'm a competitor. I'm a hooper at heart. I'm like, who's the best? Who is what? That's okay. Let's get it.
How would you compare those to the comedy scene in San Diego compared to LA? Are they pretty similar or?
Different.
Different?
Yeah. One is mainstream, the other one is not.
I thought because I've never been to San Diego. How far is it? About
2 hours.
2 hours? Okay, so when you did your first open mic, how would you describe your very first open mic that first time?
In Houston or San Diego?
Well, matter of fact, it's just period. Like your
very first one.
Yeah, how did you feel like it went? Because it's always interesting,
It went good. It went good, and then the second time I went, it went very bad.
For real? I was gonna ask, what was that? Have you ever had one that kind of like?
Oh yeah, I had people walk out at the show. I had the whole front row get up and walk out.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to run from it. You're not gonna be able to.
It's just probably part of the process.
Some people, they might not go through that. Excuse me, but you're gonna, in some point in your career, you're gonna go through a point where it's like, like you just can't escape it.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
How do you handle those moments where when you have people walking out and it didn't go the way you expected. I mean, you might feel down about it, but like how do you handle those type of moments?
It's part of it.
Yeah. I feel like you probably got to have like just a strong.
You have to be very. You have to be on stage. You have to be uncomfortable knowing something is not gonna work.
Just be ready for it.
So no matter how many times you didn't practice saying something, no matter how many times you practice it in the mirror, in the shower, in the car, this, that, and the third, there's no people in front of you. So the moment you say that exact same thing that you've been saying in the car, in the shower, walking, in your room, and now you have an authentic crowd and you're saying it and nobody is saying anything, that's when it becomes, all right, can I handle this? Can I handle this awkward silence? How can I sit it? Can I sit in this and be cool with it? Or can I say this and stay in this awkward silence and it scares me and it rattles me, like, you know?
Because I think, man, to me, I think comedy, being a stand-up comedian, has got to be one of the scariest things because, like you said, in basketball, you have a team, so if you're struggling, you got other people to help pull you up, even when the crowd is watching. You got other teammates, but when you're on stage, it's just you by yourself.
Nobody, the microphone stand, the mic, everybody's just looking at you like, go.
That's gotta be a scary. Well, probably in the beginning it might have been scary.
People still you hear people all the time, I still get nervous. Like, I'm like, that's good. It's nothing wrong with that. But somebody like me, I don't get nervous.
Really?
No.
So you just ready for the moment now?
I'm ready for whatever.
Man, that probably bring me anxiety because, you know, like I said, it's only you by yourself, and you just gotta deliver. But I guess over time, as you continue to do it for so long, you probably can handle it better.
See, I'm different. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm different. I'm just like, you know, every other comedian, but I literally took years
of just
studying and like, all right, what, like, being comfortable, being like, that's when I started hosting. Hosting helps with you being comfortable on stage, you know? So that's why I had somebody in San Diego, he's the reason why my comedy career is where it's at right now. This guy named Adam Love in San Diego. When I first moved to San Diego, somebody told me about this show, and he was like, I can't guarantee you a spot, but come down, just check it out, hang out. So this is me knowing what he mean by this. When he say, I don't have a spot tonight for you, but just come down, introduce yourself, and just chop it up with everybody else and just network with people. Me hearing that now, when I hear that now, it's like, oh, he's testing me. Oh, he's testing me, but when I knew, when he told me that early in the game, I already knew because of the studying that I was doing, the different interviews I was hearing people saying, like the stuff that I was listening to. When somebody say this, they're doing this. When somebody say this, they're doing that. So when I heard him say, hey, I ain't got no spot for you, but just come down. Who knows, somebody might drop out. I'm like, bingo. Because I'm ready.
Just a test to see if you really want it.
Are you going to pull up? And you know what he did? He texted me and he said, hey, you going to pull up? I was coming anyways. Hey, you going to pull up? Somebody dropped out. I said, bet. I'll get up there, I sit down, and he say, hey man, I need like 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes? No, but yeah.
Take advantage of that opportunity. Because you know, in that moment, he said he could not guarantee you anything. It was a test. You know how many people, just because it's not guaranteed a certain outcome, that they wouldn't even take that opportunity?
I'm pulling up, I'm coming.
You be ready for that moment.
So after that set, I did very good, and then he hit me up and was like, later on that night, hey, this is how you talk. Hey, Bilal, I got a very important job for you. Can you host? I've never hosted a day of my life.
But you don't tell me.
I'm like, yeah, I can host. I know how to host. Okay, great. I want you to host all my comedy shows. I got big name comedians from LA coming down to San Diego. You're gonna be my guy. Click. The next day, he called me like at noon. Meet me at the spa at Lucky Lady Casino. That's when we was doing the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I say this man is the reason why where I'm at in comedy now is because of him. He sat me down, ordered some chicken and some fries. We had some drinks, and we broke down Martin Lawrence hosting Def Jam on what you're supposed to do as a host. He taught me. Remember, he asked me, was I a host? I said, yes, I'm a host. But God know, I've never hosted a day of my life. I've never hosted. So God like, okay, I got you.
He positioning you.
I got you. Watch this. Even though I know you ain't never hosted before, I'm about to throw you a bone. And you telling me everything about, like, you see what Martin is doing? Like, he's not taking away from the other, like, when the room is up here, as a host, you don't go up there and try to one up the dude that was just up there. No. You keep the room like that so the next comedian can have that same energy right there. You don't take away. You don't take that away from the comedian. You just there for backup.
Right.
You there if somebody slip up and this, that, third. You bring the next comedian, because it's not fair to them. Now, if you if you go up there and the comedian bring it back down here, now you know what you gotta do? I said, what? He said, now you gotta roast him a little bit. I said, why? He said, because we are on the side of the consumers.
Yeah.
They paid tickets to come see us perform. It's your job as the host to bring it right back up there. So throw a little jab at them just to let the crowd know, hey, look, I'm on your side. It's our job to come up here and make y'all laugh. You know what I'm saying? It's our job to do that. So throw a little jab, get the room right back up there. Bring the next comedian up. That's a real host. That's a good host.
In the middle of that, is it important, even though you throw a little jab at the previous comedian, is it kind of like an unwritten rule where you throw a little jab but still don't do too much to like tear him completely down?
No, I don't rock. That ain't my. I don't know about, in comedy. Different comedians got different stuff that they say. No, I'm gonna keep going until I say it's done. Yeah. Especially if you're a comedian that's been asking to get on the show. Hey man, let me get on the show, man. Let me get on the show. I'm trying to get on the show. I'm trying to get on the show. Hey, I want to get on the show. I want to get on the show. Yeah, you can get on the show. You do your thing. Hey, my dude. Oh my God, very, very funny. Look, I'm gonna get your information. I'm gonna get you on the next show. But if you go up there and you do bad, I'm gonna let you have it. Because it's just like if me and you cool. And you see me do some lame stuff by you being my homie, you should be able to
call it out.
Bilal, man, come on, don't do that. Don't. And you my homie. So if I get mad at you saying some real stuff to me, are you really my homie? Am I really you feel me?
You want them to be able to keep it real with you.
Yeah. We're brothers in comedy. We're brothers and sisters in comedy. We're on the consumers because we want them to come back.
Right.
We want them to come back. We want to let them know, look, hey, these are
you're a big part, as a host, you're a big part of the reason why they will come back.
Yeah. So I jab them, but it's like that hurt, that sting a little bit. And that's just to let you know, hey, stay keep up on your rockers. Like, you feel me? Like, always be prepared. Always, and guess what? I'm not oblivious to that either.
You okay with somebody going at you?
Yeah, of course. You're supposed to. Yes. I can't say something real and then I go up there and say something like it, and I'm not too good for somebody to be like, hey man, Bilal, I think you should say this, tweak it, like, don't say this because this, that. What makes me different? What?
Right.
No, you can get on me too.
Have you seen a situation though, and no names or anything, is where like maybe a comedian has done bad and it just kind of it just completely just ruins their confidence? Like, does that happen often in situations where they just, for some reason, they have a bad night and they just can't figure out a way to get it back going?
It happens to every one of us. It happens, but at that moment, is that gonna make you quit? Is that gonna stop your confidence? Because if that knocks your confidence, then it was never for you.
It wasn't for you. Yeah.
It was never for you. So no matter what I say about a comedian, and I don't even do that. I don't, but it depends on how you do. If you do really bad, I'm gonna be like, yo, look, listen. Sometimes it happens, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just play off of it, like, you know. But if that makes you mad, if that makes you feel some type of way at me, don't get mad at me. Get mad at your pen.
Work.
Like, you know, what you mad at me for? Like, I was the one up there bombing.
Right.
But it happens to all of us.
Right.
You're not going to be able to escape.
It's part of the process.
It's part of it.
So how long were you doing the hosting and doing your shows in San Diego before you finally came to
Like 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Was it
when you first met me? Was my first year in
last year? Cause about a year and a half. Because I came out here last year in June.
Yep. Was when I just all right. So when you first met me was when I was making my rounds around LA, like seeing what is what, who was who was this, who was that, who was this, and doing that, and doing this, and I see what they not doing. I'm gonna do this. They not doing that. I'm gonna do that. Oh, they not doing this. I'm gonna do this. They really not doing it. I'm gonna do that. So when it was time for me to produce my own shows, now my show is like, who is this dude? Yeah, I took the time because I'm a student. I took the time and I went around the whole city to figure out what you dummies wasn't doing, and then just did it.
Right. How often, I guess, were you doing shows like in that time? Like how often, like in the beginning, like in San Diego, and then when you came here, like how often were you doing shows every week?
Oh, when I'm in San Diego, I'm producing.
Just producing.
I'm producing shows, so it's like I do a monthly show, or like right now, if I wanted to go, like if I'm like next week, if I say, all right, I'm gonna go down to San Diego, I'm gonna get 5 shows. When I go down to San Diego, I'm gonna do about 5 shows. I'm gonna just hit those people up, the producers of those shows. Hey, I'm coming down. I need to jump on the show. Done deal.
And they got you.
Yeah.
So when you say you produce shows, what does that necessarily mean? Like when you produce a show,
I come up with the show. I come up with the name of the show, the lineup, everything.
Okay. And it has your name and your brand and everything on it. So when people know, like if it's your business,
if it's Western Young Experience, they know it's Bilal.
And they know, like, okay, he puts on a great show, so we gonna come. So how often are you producing shows now?
Whenever I
It's
decide
just up
to,
to you?
like, yeah. So if I'm not on the road with one of my friends, or if I'm not on the road with somebody, I could be like having a conversation right here, I'm gonna do a show in
Just like-
January, and then start prepping for it.
How often would you recommend comedians to do shows like weekly, even if they're not at the level of like producing the show? Like how often would you recommend like a comedian just to do shows and like kind of get
Every day.
Every day?
Like depending on like what level they are, but you should like you gotta get comfortable on the stage. That's the biggest thing. Like you can have everything to say in the world, but if you're not confident in saying it, the crowd knows when you're not confident. They know. You know when somebody when somebody up on the stage and they little stuff that they start doing, like you'll be like, oh, I don't know about. You'll start saying little stuff like, I don't know about him or her, like because you can just see it. So you like I know it's so cliche for like people like, so I'm a comedian. I'm just starting out. Well, like, what's the best advice you can give me? And they always say, man, stage time, because that's true. Like that's the only way you gonna learn. It's just like swimming. Man, should I take swimming lessons? My uncle just threw me in the deep end.
Just throw you out there.
You'll figure it out.
Really, the best experience in life is just getting out there.
It's experience.
Doing hands-on experience. And I tell, man, I remember when I first got my internship in college, and I just wanted to do something with sports. It was crazy because all of this started because I just wanted to do something sports related in college, and I didn't really find that out. Figured out till like my senior year. But I remember sitting in my dorm room at school. And I would just remember in the very beginning when Stephen A would be on First Take with Skip, he would be on there a couple days a week or so. And I would just see them sitting there and just talking about sports. And I'm like, man, they seem like a cool job, just not understanding like behind the scenes of what goes into it or what they put into their craft. I was like, they look simple. I can talk about sports too. And once I did that, man, and just reached out to one of my mentors, Coach Cox, and he gave me an opportunity. He came to my job. I was working at Costco, and I was at a gas station because I was still in college working part-time out there. And he used to have these decals on the back of his car of all the teams he covered, like Clemson, South Carolina, Duke, North Carolina. And I was just like, man, asking do he cover sports, and he would just tell me different events he's getting ready to go to. And I was like, okay, it's cool. I was like, I'm looking for an internship for school. Gave him his card. He said, just shoot me a call. Gave him a call, and he brought me along with him to cover a Broome High School football game, like a jamboree. So, like I said, going to that hands-on experience, like, man, I thought I was just gonna get in there and watch him and his color commentary partner just,
no, hold the boom, do this, and put the headphones on. Here's your credentials, and here's this, and here's that.
Threw me right in the fire, and I was nervous, but at the moment, like, so I played high school football, but like I said, I wasn't great. But to get me going and kind of like break the ice, he would just ask me about like, what do you see on the field, or like, how do you feel about this certain situation, this play that they ran, and stuff like that. So it just took me back to like my experience, playing ball. But like I said, just sitting back there learning is great. But then also, like I said, I prayed for it, and that's what I asked God to give me the opportunity to do work in sports. And just like that, when it was the first event that I ever went to, he threw me a headset and just had me in the commentating the game. So it's like, you gotta be ready for those hands-on moments, man. And ever since then, everything we've been doing, like we still, cover sports. Of course, like I said, I cover the Charlotte Hornets now, and we do some stuff with South Carolina State, the HBCU that we have in South Carolina. But man, just getting in there, and people tell me like, how did you do this? I said, man, just get started. Like, even like you want to do a podcast, do interviews, and just start. Like you don't even have to have like
all this equipment and stuff. Just turn it on.
Cause even let's just say you give somebody all this equipment from the jump.
They don't know how to use it.
They don't know how to use it.
You don't have to take time to research how to use it.
Man,
so like, you might as well start simple and then grow into that. Like
I'm telling you, like I started everything that I've ever recorded is still up to this day because I started recording stuff on SoundCloud, and I ain't know what I was doing. I didn't even know how to edit audio at the time. So I was sitting in my dad's storage building in the backyard, just recording myself. And I never forget, it was the episode where we were talking about, it was Lamar Odom had overdosed, and Steve Spurrier had just like left the Gamecocks in the middle of the season. And I was just talking, and I didn't even like the way I sounded, and I didn't know how to edit the audio, and I just paused for a second because I froze up because I didn't know what else to say. But that whole episode was probably like 17 minutes or so. I put it up online, and I was like, man, I'm gonna just go back. So over time, like, I can go back, see how far I can. Man, I ain't have no microphones or nothing. I just had a laptop, no cameras, nothing. But from that backyard to here now, it's like you just have to get started, man. You never know how this stuff is gonna go for.
Never know.
So now, have you ever felt like you got into a point where like a certain show or any moment was like, now I know I'm meant to be in comedy?
Mm-hmm. When I won't say a show, it's a person that I met one of the like the top head people at the Laugh Factory that works through the Laugh Factory.
Okay.
And just conversation, like, and then before you know it, he just started telling me different business stuff that's happening within the company and different like what to look out for in comedy, like for different, like, just telling me the business side. Like, there's one thing knowing comedy from a comedian standpoint, but if you don't know this business, that's where you can get effed over at, like, So he was teaching me stuff about the business that I didn't even know. And I'm like, okay, coming from this person, this has to be I'm in it,
Right.
I'm in it now to where like, all right, I gotta take this serious because the information that's being told to me, is being, in confidence, is being told in confidence, is being told in like, certain stuff you're not gonna tell people if you don't you know, you're not just gonna be blurting at the mouth to just, you're not gonna be telling somebody just any old thing to any old person, you know?
Right.
So when I had that conversation with that individual, and then like you was talking about Ron G earlier, ever since I met Ron, he's been like,
man, super humble, man.
Man, that dude, Ron G, man. Shout out to Ron G, man. Like, him and a producer out here are like, those are like, I don't have a lot of friends in comedy like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Ron G and then my guy Ryan over at Too Funny Tuesday. I'm gonna actually get you the interview and get him on too.
Okay.
Just having conversations about them and the people that they put me around and the people that they introduced me to, and it's a conversation that like, look, you like, dude, you got it. Like whatever you doing, man, like this is what Ron's telling me, like, I've never met somebody like you. That's in your position that can like give opportunities to people, like to put people, like, you know, like you're in a deadly position, like. And people see me, people know who I am around the scene, but I'm not like a talkative person. But I done put people that I don't know on comedy shows. I've put people that I don't know on podcasts. I'm like the LeBron James of comedy. You know?
That's love.
Because I can't. There's no use of the resource if I go to the grave with these resources. Like, you know? And if I look out for you, I'm so cold, Carlos. I'm so cold. I'm so cold in this. Yeah. Listen, I'm so. What camera? What camera should I look? Which one? Listen, I'm so cold. I'm so cold. I can tell you my whole game plan, and you still won't be able to stop me. I can look out for each and every. I can look out for everybody because guess what? It's enough for all. If you look out that window, you see how big it is out here, man. What use is the stuff that I know? Why wouldn't I reach? Why wouldn't I look out for somebody else? Why wouldn't I do that? Like that's not how God works. You don't. You know. Everybody be like, I'll give somebody the shirt off my back. Would you?
Exactly.
Would you really?
Many people just say that just because that's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
Would you really?
Yeah, but would you really? Like if you, it's been plenty of times where I couldn't do a show. Hey man, you know somebody? You know somebody that like. That I can get on this show, I can say, nah. I know, yes, I know people. Exactly. Of course, you know I know people. Hold on, I got you. Yo, go do this, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? It's been times where people ask me, hey man, I need a comedian for this. Reach out to this person. Don't tell them I sent you. That's what I say. Don't tell them I sent you. Just say, hey, I heard. Why you won't? Because that's not what it's about.
Right. Exactly. You trying to look out for them.
Because you know why? In this city, I don't want people to be thinking that, oh, go holler at Bilal because he gonna like,
put you on to somebody.
I'm still trying to get it too.
Right.
Like you know, right. I'm still trying to get it as well. Like you know, but by us being in that same situation, we all at recess. Just because I know how to kick the ball a little further, just because I know how to kick home runs, don't mean we still in the same game. But you can get on base, I can get you home, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm on base, you can get me home. Like you feel me? That's how it is. But a lot of people
they don't want you to get ahead of them. So
exactly. They think so. You know, they'll see me and then they'll feel like, who is this dude? This dude is always with this person. This dude. Not knowing, my man, check this out. Once again, I should not say this, but I'm going to say it. You talk to somebody that can give you an opportunity.
That's powerful right there.
You talking down to somebody that can get you an opportunity.
And they don't even realize.
They don't even know. As a matter of fact, you talking to somebody that's giving you opportunities. And you don't even know that.
And that's powerful, right?
Yeah, because I don't need nobody saying, you know, hey man, you ain't hey man, Bilal was this or Bilal. Nah. Bilal just doing what he's supposed to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to look out.
Does that happen a lot out here in LA where I guess comedians you will think since y'all are in that same space, it should be like a fraternity where it's sacred and everybody looks out for each other. But does that happen often where comedians, turn their back on others or go behind that back door for other opportunities?
Yeah, and it's fine. I look at it double head. Once again, you're not gonna stop what I got going on. Mm-hmm. So you can backdoor me and say this and say that and this, that, and third. I don't feel no type of way because you can tell you how God works. You can do all that and you can go in for an audition. You can go in for an audition and guess who's gonna be sitting at the table?
And you can be right
at
the table. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now your decision is in my hands. Now the decision is in my hands, and you just did all this, that, and third. Now, no, I done seen it. I seen it. Next. But you tell you the type of person I am. Even if you did all that, even if you did all that, if you really fit for that role, hey, no, that's the one.
It's gonna be the person who's gonna get out.
Why ain't no reason for me to come on? Why would I do that?
You don't even want to. In the process of all that, you don't even want to block your blessings.
Right, blocking somebody else because come on, no, you're supposed to be saying whatever you're saying about me. Because if you're not, I'm not being me. Mm-hmm. And I'm all, you know what I'm saying? I'm me. Mm-hmm.
Can you take me to a moment where where everything that you're doing, you're thriving? What was that initial conversation like when you told your family, like, hey, I want to, be a comedian? Like, I know you had your support out here in San Diego, but your family was still in Cleveland, correct?
No one knew I was a comedian until they saw it on Facebook. Mm. And then I just recently went back home to perform for my family for the first time.
Man. And how was that moment?
Great. Amazing. Mm-hmm. It was amazing.
So did you think were you afraid to tell them at the moment or what you wanted to do?
It was just fun.
You just wanted to work.
My whole thing is there's no reason for me to tell somebody what I'm doing. One, I don't want you to project your insecurities on me. Mm-hmm. And two, it's my vision. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to see what I see.
Exactly.
You ain't supposed to see what I see. In our community, in the black community, don't nobody believe it until they see it.
That's a fact. Then they're like, "Oh, I knew you."
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I knew you.
I knew that you can do that, man. Mm-hmm. You should have been started doing that. All right. So if I would have told you, this is what I want to do, would you really have actually helped me to get to where I, Yeah. So it's to save all that. I could have been wrong. No, don't get it twisted. I might have probably had some help, but just once again, this is an individual thing that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So to erase all the BS and all the heartbreak and disappointment, I'm gonna just do it.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times when you're from a certain place, wherever you're from, like your hometown, it's almost like those people saw you grow up every single day, so they just look at you as Bilal, like, we already knew him, we went to school with him, we know his people, like we know what his whole family does, like, so they don't think you can do anything exceptional or whatever. They just thought you would just follow, like you said, just follow the normal what everybody else does. So it's just like, and I think that's a lot of why a lot of people, get out of their hometowns and go somewhere else. And they build successful businesses or go after their dreams because it's like the people that you're around all the time at home. It's like you just said, like your biggest supporters are always like strangers, the people that you don't even know. And which I still wonder why it's like that. I mean, you would think. I mean, for me, honestly, my family and friends are very supportive. Of course, my parents always wanted the best for me, which to them it may have looked like just a traditional 9 to 5, but I think that turning point moment for me was when I finally had my book signed and when I released my first book a couple years ago, and to see how I had my friends from college that I hadn't seen since I graduated. So I graduated 2014, my book signing was in 2021. Mm-hmm. So to have my college friends I hadn't seen in 7 years come, and some of my co-workers and my family and friends there, so for them to see that moment and see me bring so many people together that I haven't seen in years, or how they haven't seen in years, to see something like you using your gift to bring all these people together. When they see this, like, okay, now I get it. I might not see his vision of what he's doing or what he's trying to go, but everything is just like go after it. Like just go all in and continue to pursue your dreams, man. But that's a special moment for. We got a few more questions and we'll get ready to wrap it up. Like, what would you say is some of the best advice? Another piece of advice would you say is some of the best that you've received?
Man, there's been so much. There's so many. Actually, from Ron. Take your time. You know, we live in a social media driven based society where post this, post that, post this, and you know, I talk to Ron like every day. You know, like that's like my brother. So he like, cause I was getting ready to shoot a special, and he like, no. I'm like, why? He like, bro, you're not even 10 years in. Like, you don't like, you don't know nothing yet. Like, relax. Like, you know, like a special. Like, you know, like
it's
when
like
you,
full, pretty
it's
much
like it's like, come on, bro. What do you like? You know, once again, what like, talk to me. Just like, tell me if I'm off my rockers. You feel me? He's like, no, take your time. Like, relax. Like, what you're doing right now. Like, I'm telling you, man, bro, relax. Like, you're gonna be fine. Take your time with the like, just keep doing whatever you're doing right now. Do that, and that was the perfect advice that he can give me because if I shoot a special, put it out, and then let's say Netflix like, hey, Bilal, we want to finally give you a special. Guess what?
You can't use that.
It's already out.
Everybody
Everybody's seen it on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and then you know I done shot it. So everybody, they mama, now you gonna put it on Netflix. It's like now when somebody see it, they're like, oh, I already saw it.
Yeah, that's.
You know.
Speaking about social media, like, how do you feel about this era of like social media communities? Because I remember the very first comedian that I ever interviewed was 5 years ago, and I interviewed Daisy Banks when I was went down to Atlanta, and at the time, you know, he had maybe like 1 million followers. His following was just growing, and when I was asking him, like, he first started, he started on Vine. You know, remember Vine, the little 6 clip, and then he started going to like Instagram, and then he said things began to like finally take off for him. And you know, he does a lot of skits online, and nothing wrong with that. A lot of comedians are starting to do those skits. But how do you feel about the social media era of like where comedians like do skits and then trying to make it translate over into like a stand-up show?
I have there is a how can I say this? There's no other way to say it. When you shoot a skit, there's one thing that you can do that you can't do on stage.
You can redo it. Yep.
So if it's not good, I can shoot it. I can shoot a skit on Instagram, play it back, redo it. I can't do that with stand up. Stand up is a whole. It's like and it's no knock against the social media comedians and what they're doing. It's like their whole thing is they're trying to get respect from the traditional comedians because they're calling themselves comedians. But guess what? They are comedians because what they're doing is providing comedy in some sort, but it's just not in the form of what a traditional stand-up comedian will be. Right. So, like, if you're an Instagram comedian, like, my thing is stay right there until you know you got a solid 15, 20 minutes that you're working with, that you like, all right, I want to go out and let me do this. But it's hard because, you know, those comedians, they're selling tickets. This, you know, the comedy clubs are looking at those guys like, it's not about being funny, it's about putting butts in the seats.
And like how the followers. Do you think that's good for comedy though? For like
horrible, very bad. But that's just me.
So I don't guess it's maybe like a solution to how, but and it's not gonna translate for all of them that do that to where they just do skits online and then try to translate it into like an actual show though. And I'm assuming like when you do that online, you don't want to use what you shot online and then try to do it in the show because everybody's pretty much seen it. Right. You say?
Yeah.
Do you try to stay away from like doing skits or putting pieces of content online on social media and not doing it in the actual show?
Well, I'm not a social media guy, so I can care less about it. And I believe that's probably what's holding me back a little bit is the whole the online presence. But I'm just not into it. Like you know, I'm a comedian. Like I'm a stand-up comedian. Like come see me live. You know, I'd rather you come see me live versus like I'm not into the whole let's put a bit out. If I put a bit out, it's a joke I'm not going to use again.
Yeah, I was about to say. So once you put it online, that's it.
So what I do now is like this is one of a hack that I do is like all my old stuff I put out. So when you come to a show and you see an old joke that's on my Instagram, you're not. I want to trick you. You think you coming to the show to see those same jokes that you just seen on my Instagram, but I got a whole different set. And and so if I do a weekend, if I do 4 shows in a weekend, I'm doing 4 different sets. Because some of those people might come to the show tomorrow. Or that next night. Yeah, so you do 2 shows a night. 4 shows, like 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. I do a set for the 7:30 show, and then the 9:30 show I do a whole different set. And then the next day I'll do the 9:30 show
for the 7.
For the 7 and then for the 9.
How do you know what when you do shows for different audiences? How do you figure out how long does it take you to process like what jokes you want to tell for? Do you try to get a feel for the room to say, okay, if they bite off this, I'm gonna use these set of jokes, and if they don't, or do you just already know what you?
I'm listening to the host for about like 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, because that's gonna engage me. That's gonna let me know, oh, they like these type of jokes. They like this type of joke. That, and then I see what you're wearing, and then I look at what you're drinking. Because that's gonna let if you got hard liquor, oh, I'm going raunchy with this crowd. If I see a couple Jack Cokes and Jamesons and Patrons and stuff, oh, this is gonna be a rowdy crowd. I'm gonna go rowdy. But if you're nice and well dressed and couple and stuff, I already know kids, relationship, quick stuff that I can just I can just go any way I want to when I just those little things. But that's just me being a host,
observing,
being just watching, listening to conversations. Like I was at work at this time. I'm like, oh, they was at work. Okay. Hey, y'all ever? You ever be at work and such and such and such? You know what's gonna happen? We was just talking about that.
Yeah.
Now. Oh, can we get a picture with you? You were funny when you said that about the job. Me and my homie were just talking about that. Now you coming back,
and they can something that they can
relate to.
As a comedian, what would you say? Is there anything that's like off limits, like regardless, as a comedian, that you just like? It's like that you don't touch at all now.
A lot of these comedians, and I'll be like, they call themselves comedians and then be scared to say stuff. There's nothing off limits with me. I'm saying because you gotta think about it. Think about this. When you go to a comedy show, you're looking for a comedian to say something crazy, to say some funny, crazy stuff. Because man, he's you ever hear somebody like a comedian say something, you're like, hey man, he's a comedian, man. Like that's what they do, man. They say crazy stuff, man. So all right, if that's what we do, why go away from it? Why be scared to say something crazy?
Right.
This is your thought process. Take me to your thought process. Why the way you think is like this, and tell me, make it funny. Why?
But times are different now. It's like the quote unquote cancel culture, like we were saying earlier, like with the Kings of Comedy. Like the stuff that they were saying back then, people will really get offended or get all.
Yeah, but you know why people? It's not people. The comedians won't get offended. The the sponsors would get offended. The people you're in partnerships with, because of the people feel entitled now.
Yeah.
It's not what you're saying is bad. It's, oh, you can't say that because I feel uncomfortable. So now that I feel uncomfortable, hey, let's cancel this person because this, that's crazy.
Yeah. And they just say if they disagree with you,
if they disagree with you, oh, we're gonna tear you down. But man,
my thing is if you go to a comedy show and you know this person is a comedian, you already know like what you coming for. Like, why would you come sit in here and if you don't like something, like you already know.
You say I come out the gate with a haymaker, just cause, just like, all right, let me just see where they at. Not that I really give a crap, but I'm gonna just see where they at. Like,
we got a few more questions and we'll get ready to wind it down. Let's do this. I'm gonna give you some choices of like sitcoms that we grew up watching. Let's just say, I'm gonna say Martin. You got the Jamie Foxx show. You got Fresh Prince. You got In Living Color. What would you say is like your favorite? Martin. I said the same thing. I asked Ron G the same thing. Like, which one would you? What made Martin, so special?
Relatable. Check this out. You want to hear something crazy? I said this yesterday. Watch this. We give Russell Wilson. We look at Russell Wilson, Will Smith. We look at all these other people as relationship goals.
I hate that stuff too.
But all right, check this out. Why don't we give Martin his flowers as a man, a black man? You know why? If you look at Martin was loyal to Gina. Gina was loyal to Martin. Didn't matter what the circumstances was. They both was goofy. They did everything together. And don't nobody say nothing about Martin. Everybody want to bring out Russell Wilson and all these actors. But what about Martin? Martin stayed like Martin was he was loyal to Gina. Held her down. Held her down. Was goofy. Like nobody talk about that.
Yeah, that was.
So that's why I like Martin. Martin was relatable. Martin was this like. Come on, they was playing match like the stuff that we like. Trying to hook your homeboy up with her homegirl, like stuff like that. Like crazy. Pam and Tommy would start messing with each other.
Tommy ain't got no job.
Don't know what he's doing. Like it's always that one person. Always got money, always fly. What do you do? Hey, I just probably work at McDonald's. You'll never know. Like but he ain't go. Just that one person just ain't gonna tell all my business. That's Tommy.
Classic, man. Give me your top. Let's say your top 5 comedians. Like, who are just your favorite comedians?
In order?
No particular. If you want to put them in order, you can, but no particular order.
Cat Williams.
Okay.
Jamie Foxx. Will Ferrell.
Okay.
I like Will Ferrell. He's so funny.
Does Will Ferrell do stand up? Or
no, he used to.
Okay.
He started out as a stand up, but we might have to look into that. I think he started up as a stand up for a little bit. But even let's I don't want to keep Will in there.
You keep him in there. Keep him in there.
So Cedric. I like Cedric.
Cedric funny, man.
That's 4. Okay, one more. Pryor. No. Eddie.
The second one you said was Jamie Foxx. Do you think he gets the credit?
To me, he's the greatest comedian of all time.
I was about to say, Jamie might be the most talented comedian.
Yeah, Jamie.
Period.
Like
from the wide range of acting, singing.
Man, he
can do it all, man.
Jamie Foxx. Like when you talking about have you ever seen I Might Need Security?
I think I got that one at home. I got Live from the Foxhole.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But I Might Need Security. Oh my goodness. Man,
I got a couple of DVDs.
When he got the blue shirt on, he playing the piano and stuff. he do everything for he's doing everything Jamie.
I was definitely got to be in the conversation of just like one of the greatest. Because not only can he do funny stuff, like
he can tell stories, he will roast you, he can sing, he can play the he just
absolutely.
Yeah, Jamie.
As we get ready to wind down, what are some goals that you have, closing out this year and heading into 2024 and beyond?
Closing out this year, the level of focusness I need to obtain going into the new year. I have to, just pretty much buckle down and actually not figure out what I want to do, but keep it making sure I just stay focused on what I'm out here for. And because I got my hands in a few things out here, but and then going into the new year, I want to slowly but surely start prepping into becoming an agent.
Okay.
Yeah, because when comedy's all said and done, I want to have my own agency where I represent comedians, and because I know I have resources. I have people That's why I say I'm the LeBron James of comedy, because when you said you was coming out here, I was like, oh, my homie is doing it was just I couldn't. I just gotta do it. It's just yo, this is the perfect time. This is a comedy festival.
I ain't know nothing about the festival or anything.
Nothing. And I was like, yo, you hit me I'm coming out. We're gonna do the podcast, and I'm like, wait, you should do.
Just like that.
The festival at the Ice House. You should definitely do my homie is running.
Yeah.
And now look at y'all. I'm actually going over there. So because it's the last night, so I'm gonna go.
That's gonna be dope, man. And I like I said, I appreciate you for doing that, because you didn't even have to do it. You could have I don't really know nothing. Like you said, nothing. I gotta, man. That's how you get your blessings, man. Absolutely.
You definitely get your blessings that way. So, and I appreciate you for rocking it out, man. Knocking it out the park the way y'all doing it. You and your partner, man. Yeah. Y'all just out here, and I know y'all out there doing y'all thing because you happy. Every time I talk to you, I called you yesterday. You yo, I'm still at the. We still at the. Hey, yo, man, it's lit over here.
I'm telling you.
I almost stopped what I was doing. Hold on.
Man,
do I gotta pull up?
I tell you, since we got here, we really been working the whole time. So getting everything settled in. We shot over there. We stayed over there till about 12 o'clock, 12:30. Mind you, we still on East Coast time for us, so your body just ready to shut down. Get back up. Yesterday morning, we had an interview at 10 o'clock over at Burbank. Left Burbank, went back to the comedy club, and we stayed there till about 5 o'clock, 5:30, just doing interviews and everything. And then we came back here. But man, we really been just cranking out, and we've done over 10 interviews since we've been here.
See,
just working, man. And it's love, man. And like I said, I appreciate you for doing that.
Hell yeah, man, for sure, man.
A few more questions. Has LA been everything that you thought it would be? Because when I look at it, it's a lot of people you see the glitz and the glam, and then you see all the superstars, and you got the Lakers, Clippers, you got the Rams, Chargers, all this stuff, the Dodgers, and you see all these celebrities sitting courtside or at these games. Has LA been everything that you thought it would be?
And then some. And I haven't even tapped in all the way into LA like that, but just the short amount of time that I've been here, I've been in some of the dopest parties, some of the dopest events, some of the dopest shows, been a part of some of the dopest shows, dopest event, and I haven't even scratched the surface, so it's been that and then some. So
have you been able to meet anybody that had you starstruck with you? Dang, I'm really. And
that's when I realized I'm in comedy. When I did the Netflix is a Joke comedy festival a year or two ago, when the first time that they had it here, and I'm in the room with Joe Coy and Deion Cole and Cat Williams.
Joe Coy is crazy too.
Just JB Smooth and I'm around these people, and I'm just dang, I used to watch these people on the TV, and I'm
Right there.
Like this. Like, and it's the same conversations we be having. Like they regular people. They are regular people. They just got they have a publicist, they have a manager, they have brands and just. But man, they just like talking to sports and talking about, man, I like this person. I like man. So
I tell people that all the time. Is like when I cover professional athletes, like working with the Hornets and everything, like. Before COVID, like when I was interning years ago, we used to go into the locker room to interview the players and coaches. I mean, they eat the same stuff we eat, listen to the same music, have conversation. They just regular people. Financial situation might be different, but they just like regular people. But I remember, I told this story numerous times. Like the first game I ever went to, when I covered ACC Media Day with Coach. And we had a Newberry cover the Broome and Newberry high school football game. He said, I got ACC Media Day. What do you want? And then after that, I'm going to cover the Hornets season opener. He's like, would you like to go with me? I said, yeah, that's cool. So we go for ACC Media Day. We go to the Westin Hotel in Charlotte, and we were getting ready to go to the media room. And then we walking by Coach K, and then Coach K looked at me and waved and spoke. I was like, damn, that's Coach K. And then you see Jim Boeheim and Roy Williams from North Carolina and Rick Pitino, Jamie Dixon out at Pittsburgh, and Coach Hamilton for Florida State. And then after that, we and while we were in there, I sat back and I didn't ask any questions for a little while because I was nervous, and I'll never forget. And I wrote about this in my book. It was this lady named Vashti Hurt. She had started her own media company called Carolina Blitz. And she was sitting in front of me, and then after one of the coaches got off the stage, I was like, man, I'm nervous. This is my first time being here. And I'm 22 years old at the time. Right. And she's like, man, I understand how you feel. She's like, I was the same way when I first started. But she said, you're going to be fine. She said, just remember, these are your peers now. She said, don't put them on a pedestal, because if you do, you already lost. Yep. She said, just settle down. You're going to be fine. Just ask me
no question is a dumb question. Exactly. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
So once she told me that, man, I just started firing off questions, and man, it just felt
guess
good.
What? Your question might be a question that go viral, and then they be like, I was in that room when he said that,
And I still remember the question I asked Coach K, because this was when Jaleel Okafor was at Duke at the time. This is his freshman year. And I asked him, I was like, how do you feel about, players being one and done? And he said something along the lines of, there's nothing wrong, but I think they need to try, something along the lines of that NCAA need to try to figure out a way to work with the players or something like that. We leave ACC Media Day, go cover the Hornets. This is when they transition back from the Bobcats to the Hornets. This was October 28th or 29th of 2014. Giannis might have been in like his second year with the Bucks. So I didn't really know who he was at the time, because he's not who he is now.
Right, exactly.
Hornets win the game. We walk down the hallway, going to back to the media room. I'm going this way, and Michael Jordan coming this way. So it's just like, when you see him, he's just like, man, this is Michael Jordan right here. And he got security around. I didn't speak to him, and then I'm just looking, because I'm like starstruck. I'm like, dang, this Michael Jordan, this like the basketball guy right here. Everybody. This the one.
He's him.
Bro, it was crazy. So it was just like, I'm a 22-year-old college kid. I'm from Jonesville, South Carolina, a small town with 3 lights in our whole town. And I seen Roy Williams and Coach K and Pitino and Michael Jordan. And then we go into the locker room, and you see Kemba Walker and Lance Stevenson and Al Jefferson and all the players in the NBA. I see all these guys in one day. Man, life changing, man. And it was just so dope to experience that. I was just so thankful for that opportunity. So I always tell Coach Cox, whenever I see him, thank you, because you didn't have to do that. Like, you could have gave me a business card and just said you.
But see, look, like, what use is this if I'm not gonna?
He put me on, man, and it was a game changer. So I'm forever grateful for that opportunity, man. My final 2 questions: if you had to give somebody advice, maybe they don't want to be a comedian, they just want to pursue their dream, what advice would you give them?
Don't tell nobody. And put your head down and just go. don't worry about no relationship. Don't worry about family. Don't worry about don't worry about family, but like the moment you get into a relationship, they're not gonna understand. The moment you tell your family, they're not gonna understand. So it's best if you just can this mic hear me back here?
Yeah, it's picking up. It doesn't mean if
Okay.
you sit up a little bit, it'll be better, but it's picking up.
But yeah, don't tell anyone and put your head down and just like go.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment you tell someone, they're gonna believe in you until it gets hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's gonna be, I don't know why you're doing it. This ain't happening yet. Like, what do you mean? Like, this taking it. You say you doing this. You want to be this, and you did. Whatever. I'm leaving. And then guess what? That person leaves, and now you're dealing with heartbreak, and you're dealing with depression. You're dealing with this, that, and the third, which slows down the process of you walking in purpose. You feel me?
Absolutely.
So when you're walking in purpose, that's what a lot of these women and even men out here in LA, they come out here, they want to pursue a dream, and they think if I pursue the opposite sex, if I pursue someone, then that's going to make my purpose that much. No. If you're walking in purpose, if you're doing what you're supposed to do in purpose, God is going to put that person that's supposed to be with you
on your journey, on your path. Absolutely. Bilal, I appreciate your time, bro. Man, this was a great conversation. The last and final question that I love to ask entrepreneurs, anybody when I have them on the platform, we traveling, interviewing everybody, what does self-investment mean to you?
Self-investment means, and I actually just had this conversation with one of my homies out here. If you're willing to work hard for somebody else, then you should. It should be no brainer of you working hard for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know? So meaning, like, you gonna rush to make sure you at work on time. Or if somebody hit you up and, hey man, I need $100 for this. Like if 3 people hit you up, hey, I need $100 for this. That's $300 that's gone, but you need new headshots.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you putting that, you giving out money. That $300 could be an investment of you getting a role.
Yeah.
So self-investment is most definitely self first. Like you gotta worry about how can you help somebody if you're not helping yourself?
That's real.
So invest in yourself first so you can help and you can invest in other people. So what's the sense of you investing in somebody else and then they're not reciprocating it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You're steady doing this, you're steady doing this, you're steady doing this, but nobody is doing this. You know?
That's real.
But check this out. If you're in purpose, and we're gonna end after this. I know you probably gotta go. But if you're in purpose, check this out. If you're in purpose, I'm being fed like this from God. Mm-hmm. So it's just like a tree. It's just like an apple tree. If you produce an apple tree and don't nobody take an apple from your tree, what's the sense of the tree being there?
Tree. That's real. Mm-hmm.
So if God is blessing me and you take it from me, you know what I'm saying, how most people think, oh, this person is using me. This person is this, that. You know why? You can't use a nigga like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Oh, you good?
I don't know how professional,
Oh, you good, man. You be yourself, man. Be yourself. We good.
But you can't use a nigga like me that's connected to God. Because guess what? I'm forever lasting being blessed. Mm-hmm. So guess what? You should take from a nigga like me. Mm-hmm. Because the stuff I'm getting from God is gonna help you. It's gonna help you. It's gonna definitely help you. So you should take from me. I'm not gonna feel no type of way about it. Because I'm getting blessed this way. I'm getting blessed this way. And I'm supposed to get blessed. Me doing this is gonna continue this relationship right here. It's gonna continue because I'm doing this. Mm-hmm. So you should take from me.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna feel no type of way. You should take from me because that's the blessing.
Yep, and God is showing you a lot of favor. A lot of favor, man. And people don't have to look at it. Don't look at it as a lack of.
They using you.
Yeah.
They using you. Yeah, and I hear that all the time in that part, man. I'm like, man, you should be doing what they doing instead of complaining.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I say that in my head, like, man, why won't, like, you got me to your, just, like, you got me right here, like, all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Just shift your mindset.
Yeah, like, man, what?
Exactly. Don't look at it as a lack of abundance of somebody trying to expose you and take advantage. You know,
You can't take from me.
Exactly.
I mean, you can take from me, but you can't like.
But you know where your blessings are coming
My blessings are coming from a place where that's you can't even imagine this, like the dreams that I have, that like man, that's how I know, like, this is like, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm good.
Absolutely. Bilal, I appreciate you, bro, man.
Yes,
this is a super dope conversation.
Yes,
I already knew it was just brainstorming. Man, I really looked at it from time to time, but man, just like I said, just a special conversation. Shout out to Ron G for giving me those words of encouragement. Man, I really appreciate you pulling up and keeping your word. Like I said, I always keep my word when I get here.
Oh, for sure.
We gonna link. We gonna
As a man, not even as a man, but as a person.
Yeah.
We all this right here. We don't go to the grave with all this. But you know what you go to the grave with? Your word.
Mm-hmm. Fact.
You go to the grave with your word.
Yeah.
And if you say you're gonna do something, make sure you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is, you just
because there's so many times you can see people at an event and you like, yo, what's up, man? We gonna definitely link up from time to time. And then when you leave, man, it's
always like that.
I pride myself on keeping my word, man. I might not be able to get there in the time I would like to, but when I touch down, I said we're gonna link up and do something. We're gonna make it happen.
And we made it happen.
I appreciate you. Before we get out of here, man, can you tell everybody how to find you on social media?
Yeah, this guy right here.
Yeah.
All right, Bilal Young official on Instagram. That's what I'm using right now. That's what I'm on Facebook, but it's like more so family and stuff. But Bilal Young official on Instagram is where you can find me. So I'll be posting where I'll be performing at next, and up and coming events that I'm gonna be a part of and different stuff. So this next year is gonna be a big year for me, but God willing, man, we doing it. We doing it one day at a time, and we taking it one day at a time. And when it's time to get it on, to really get it on, when God say, when He unhook that leash and say, go get them.
Time to get it.
It's go time.
Absolutely. Wow, we behind you. I appreciate you, man, for real.
Sir.
Thank you for everything you're doing for me, man. Keep me your word. We know we definitely gonna stay connected.
Oh, most definitely.
So hopefully everybody enjoyed this episode of the Cross the Line Podcast. Till next time, keep chasing your dreams. Thank you for listening.